Sports, a bridge that brings people together. And here in the Commonwealth, it's no different. From the gridiron to the hardwood and beyond, we all have a team we love to talk about. Now for the teams you care about, here's Heartland Sports Live with Trevor Rice.
And welcome into Heartland Sports Live once again, Monday afternoons, 5 until 6 on 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and we live stream on ESPNKY.com. We are continuing our 2019 high school football previews here in Hardin County, and I have with me the Elizabethtown High Panthers Football Club as they look forward to their 2019 season getting ready here. I have head coach Mark Brown. I have R.J. Hope in here. I have Joseph Becker in here as well. A couple of seniors who are looking to get things rolling for this team this season. Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining me.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Let's talk about this 2019 season. Kind of a bad taste from 2018, losing the third round to a rival in LaRue County. You go 8-5 last year. You guys as seniors, let's talk to the players first. You guys as seniors, you kind of have a chip on your shoulder. You want to come out here and you want to prove things here at the start of the 2019 season. So let's start out with what you're doing this summer to kind of prepare yourselves and get ready for this season.
Well, for me, on my behalf, I just know that I've been putting in extra work, and I'm trying to get my team to put in extra work as a collective group so we can accomplish one goal, and that's to win the state championship. And I really do believe we have the potential to do it.
He's right. We've been a competitive team for years. We've always made it pretty deep in the playoffs, and we can do that again this year. Last year obviously wasn't our best year within the most recent years, but things need to change coming forward, and that's what we need to bring to the table.
Coach, let's go to you. It kind of got off to a slow start last year, playing some tough competition, but you guys started to get things rolling in the middle part of the season. Talk about last year and how maybe you hope to get off to a quicker start here in 2019.
Yeah, we played a really tough schedule early on last year, and it probably helped us later on. And as the season went on, we got into our district games and things such as that. We won a district again, and we had intentions on winning the regional again. We stubbed our toe there and lost a game we probably should have won, and that does leave a bad taste in your mouth. But it gives the kids something to come back and work hard for, so that doesn't happen again. Now, when you take this year, we've got another very tough schedule, playing a bunch of 6A schools that we probably don't have any business playing, but still, it's hard to get games, so you got to take what you can get, and we'll work our way through it again and get into our district schedule again. The district will probably be tougher. I know LaRue's going to have a bunch of kids back, and they had kids last year that signed Division I. They got another one this year that's already verbally committed to Western. And Bardstown's going to be much improved. They're going to be a lot better. So that's two tough teams right there in their district. We're going to get through them before we can think about the regional.
Kind of a different situation for Elizabethtown this year, as you guys are going to be playing all of the area teams. You're going to be playing North, Central, and John's. Kind of some renewed rivalries there. Coach, you're familiar with John. You were there at one point. Let's talk about that. Let's start with the players here. As you guys look to play some of the area teams, you kind of get to know these guys, just crossing paths, playing them, whether you're in other sports or and such. What are your thoughts going into that, maybe playing all the area teams here in 2019?
Well, it goes a lot deeper than just, on the field, because, when it comes down to it, we all grew up together, and, we've all been friends since the jump. Life goes how life is going to go. We all going to split up and go our different ways eventually, and that's just what happened, and, we can't keep it at a friendship as far as in between those white lines, because when we go in between those white lines, it's game time, and there's no time to be friends. There's no time to patty cake, no time to high five. It's straight domination, and I believe that my team, our team, and my coach is going to lead us to that victory in whatever rival we have coming up against us.
What he said, all the area teams this year are going to be pretty good, and we want to make sure that we can play our best and win those games, because they're all pretty important to us, not just because of who we're playing, but because of what it means to ourselves.
You guys being a couple of seniors, obviously the younger guys are going to look to you to kind of steer the ship here for 2019. What words of encouragement, RJ, you were talking about it, how you were kind of trying to get the younger guys more involved and trying to get them ready for this upcoming season. What can you do as a leader to have this team ready for week one?
more of holding them accountable than just yelling at them and telling them what to do. It's more of like a group effort. It's like, if you do this, then like I'm gonna make sure I do my part. You do your part, I'm gonna make sure I do my part. If it's a team sport. Like, we can't just play as individuals, because it takes 11 men to win. Offense, defense, special teams, however you want to play it. It's just like we all got to hold each other accountable. It's not just about one person.
We were in their same shoes our freshman and sophomore years, not knowing plays and being confused on certain aspects of the game. But, I mean, that's how it is. We're going to make sure that they know what they're doing and that they learn as they go through high school.
Coach, you get ready for this 2019 season. What are you and the staff discussing as far as getting ready for this upcoming season, knowing that you're going to have yet another tough schedule?
Mm-hmm. Well, this year their schedule's changed just a little bit. We open up in a bowl game down at Glasgow, and so that'll be a little bit different for us. And it's going to be one of those early games where it's hot and it's a long drive and all that kind of stuff. So even little things like that you have to get used to, but the kids have to get used to. That's why one of the reasons we scheduled a scrimmage game this year against a team that's going to be a long drive to get up there and just to get used to that type of thing. So early on, it's that kind of thing. Then we come back after that and play these, as you call, local schools, as you pointed out, where we don't have to go very far at all. But we're approaching it like we always do. And these guys and the seniors this year have been very good in the weight room of, like they say, holding kids accountable, getting them to lift and pushing them and things such as that. And we're helping the young kids now just going through the offense and defense and learning what they're supposed to be doing on the field. We're preparing everybody. We don't just work with their ones now. We work with everybody, trying to bring them up to speed. And then as we get closer, of course, to the season, of course, we'll concentrate more around scrimmage time thing, just on the ones and twos. And we don't have a lot of depth. We don't have a lot of numbers. If I could talk everybody we play into playing just 11 people, then we'd be in real good shape. We can go 11 on 11, with a lot of people. But when where we get in trouble sometimes is we have 30 on the sideline, they have 70. As the game wears on, it can. A lot of our guys are going both ways, and that's why practice time is so valuable to us. We have to have it very organized, because we don't have kids to platoon and just have to learn offense. They have to learn offense and they have to learn defense, and some of them even special teams. And so they're learning two positions. And when you don't have a lot of kids, then if somebody turns an ankle or something, like one of these two guys turns an ankle, you've not only lost an offense player, you've lost a defense player too. Yeah. So you got to plug somebody back in. But so that's why we work so hard in the summer on trying to get in shape, make sure we're ready to go, so we can reduce injuries, and the kids are ready to go both ways, and we try to build our depth up as we go, and hopefully we can. Like you say, it'll be a tough schedule for us, but it'll help us in the long run.
We are previewing E-Town High's 2019 football season. I have head coach Mark Brown, and I have seniors RJ Hope and Joseph Becker here in the studio here on Heartland Sports Live. Let's talk to you guys now, you two seniors, once again, as you get ready for the season. How has it been? You come back from the dead period, you're back on the practice field now. How's the adjustment getting back out there, and you're just playing with the guys and getting ready here over the next few weeks as you set for week one?
Well, me personally, I don't take dead periods, because I believe that if you're sleeping, somebody else is working to be better than you are. Somebody's always trying to be greater than you are, and there's always going to be somebody better than you are. So if you want it bad enough, you will get up and work for it. And it's like, everybody needs their time off. Everybody needs a break, and I respect that. But I'm just saying, like, as far as us, like, being a team, if we want to go, we're outnumbered. Like, we're a very small team. We're a very small school. We're 3A. We're going up against 6A schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to have the numbers and the depth, like Coach said, to just, replace a guy. Because if I get hurt, he gets hurt. If any other seniors get hurt, it's like somebody else is going to have to step up to the plate, and we only have very few numbers. So that's why we all just got to stay on our grind, because, like, we're just underrated, and we need people that's going to be willing to put in the work, and people to, like, let's all accomplish the same goal, and that is a state championship.
Back to what he said, just staying in shape, making sure you're eating right and stuff like that. But even before the dead period, we were still, like, working out and stuff. And so, I mean, once we take those 2 weeks off, it's not that hard to come back to, as it seems with practices this past week for our team. But just making sure that we're like staying in shape, working hard, then we should be fine.
Knowing that you guys have to play such a big role on this undermanned team compared to what some of the teams you'll be facing this year, what can you do to prepare yourself going into a game, knowing that you may have a short week of practice? What can you do to be ready to go both ways for 4 straight quarters?
I say trust is going to play a big factor in this whole season. It's like I got to be able to trust a man to the right and left of me. Like, if I get hurt, we all still on the same team, because if we was in the Army and when your soldier goes down, you still have to carry him and you still have to be accountable for him. So it's just all about, can I trust you if I get down, if I get weak? Can you step in, the gap for me and be like accountable, like, held accountable by coach and by the team? Because like you said, like, it's obvious we're very undernumbered, and like we don't have the depth like that a lot of schools that we're going to play has. So we both, like me and Joe, we have to be in the best shape as we can, stay healthy, eat right, and take care of our bodies, because like our team needs us just as well as we need them.
The week of a game, probably a lot of film, working hard, getting as much reps in as you can. If you don't know a play, work on it. If you don't know a situation, make sure you get used to it, go over formations, all that good stuff, and just make sure that you're on like the right mindset throughout the whole week, so that when Friday night comes, you're ready to go.
Coach, let's talk to you about your quarterback this season, Clay Games. He's going to have an extra year under his belt now, coming in as a junior. Talk about his development over the past couple of seasons as you've gotten him ready for these big game moments and look for your offense to explode yet again here in 2019.
Yeah, we've always been able to score and get up and down the field offensively, and I think that won't change this year. I think we'll still be able to move the ball. Clay, of course, is coming off surgery in the offseason, and so he's a little behind where he normally would be right now, but it won't take him long to catch up. He's making progress right now, and they've released him and everything, so he's ready to go. He's just got to get his little bit of his velocity back, and that'll come with a couple more weeks practice here, and we work the kids hard, like I say, to build up depth, as much depth as we can, and we expect our kids to have it down pat, so to speak. That's the mental part of the game is very important with us. Our kids have to understand the game. They have to understand their position, because we can't afford a lot of mental mistakes. We've got to be there, and we've got to be focused on every snap. And everybody does the same thing, every team. Everybody wants that. But it becomes increasingly important when you have few numbers and they're going both ways, because let me tell you something, that focus, you sort of lose that focus in the fourth quarter when it's 90 degrees out there and you've been going both ways and you're hot and tired. You're not as sharp mentally as you are at the very first of the game and stuff. And that's why we do what we do to condition our kids and to work through that. And then we build our younger kids up and we have them ready to go as much as they can be. Are we going to have to throw some kids in places and rest these starters? Some kids maybe that aren't ready. Yeah, we're going to have to do that, but we're going to have to get them as ready as we can and trust that they'll go in, make some mistakes, learn, get better. So as the season goes on, we can use them more and more, and that's basically what we have to do.
If I may add, one thing I feel like Coach Brown does best is I think he conditions all his players the same, as in, like, there's not just one group of kids who's strong and then there's another group of kids who's fast, then there's another group of kids with agility. It's like we're all getting the same training because we both have to, we all have to go both ways. And it's like a lot of these big schools, like, they'll have, certain talent but just spread out. Coach Brown has done a great job I transferred from North Hart myself, and he's done a great job of, like, training me and my team to all be athletes and all be hybrid players, because, like, that's just what it's going to take to win.
You like to utilize a bunch of individuals in your running game. There's no secret there. Who else do we expect to be some big playmakers here for E-Town High in 2019?
When I do this, I always leave somebody out because it's just the way, I don't know, trying to. But the younger kids like T.J. Allen, it was a freshman last year and ran well for us, and we expect him to be there too. Cameron McNeil will be in the backfield. Cam played last year, and I think he's improved. I think he's improved a whole lot. Guys, you all helped me. Joe ran last year. RJ here is going to move to tight end for us, and he didn't play there really last year, but he's doing a good job learning that position now. And we have, of course, Cam Williams back at split end.
Grimes.
LeVay Grimes is a guy that you all mentioned his name last year. He played some running back and played some receiver. You're going to mention his name a lot this year. He's a good player. He's going to carry the ball much more for us this year, and he'll be on the receiving end too. So all of those kids I mentioned there will play major roles for us.
Let's go defense and special teams, because you guys have been pretty good there over the last couple of years, and I know Joe, you have a big part in that as far as playing not only defense. I know you're a big special teams guy as well. Let's talk about what we expect here this coming season, because you guys, we talk about some of these bigger teams in the area. You're going to be smaller in size compared to a lot of these guys. But what I love about your attack mode is you punch them right in the mouth and you say, bring it. Mm-hmm. Is that obviously that's going to be the same mentality here in 2019? So what do we expect here defensively and special teams wise, where you guys have excelled so well over the past few seasons?
Without a doubt, I mean, we're going to come with the same attitude we come with every year. This year, our defense obviously needs to be improved. Last year was not like our greatest year defensively wise, but special teams, we need to work on field goals, extra points. Punting was pretty good last year. Clay Games is our punter. Brandon Parsons is an excellent kicker, but we need to make sure he's there for a kick and that he's able to kick the ball. Defensively, we need to get to the ball. We need to tackle. That's probably the biggest thing that we've mentioned over this past year, and that's what we've been working on is tackling. So,
and you're very good at teaching the technique of tackling, Coach. How important is that for your guys to be able to do that, especially when they may be trying to bring somebody down that's double their size?
Well, it is important that you do have proper technique, and the important thing is getting there and team tackling and getting everybody to the ball, and where one person doesn't have to do it all, and everybody playing their position. And I think we'll be better at that this year. Now we lost some people up front last year, but I think we have people that are going to fill in and be able to replace them. And we lost some people, of course, in the secondary also. And so we'll be tested early, but I think our defense is actually going to wind up being better this year than it was last year. And we're all hoping that. And as far as special teams go, I think we'll be better special team-wise too. Brandon's got a year more of experience under his belt as far as his kicking goes. We've got an excellent long snapper this year. I've already told him I don't want to see one bad long snap this year, and he's done a real good job even so far in practice. I've always wanted a guy kicking off that could kick it in the end zone. Everybody likes that, but because that's the best kickoff return team, kickoff cover team you can have. They just have to run in the field and go to the sideline, But most teams don't have that, and I don't know if we're going to have that either. So it's going to be really, really imperative that we get down the field and cover kickoffs and make tackles there, because, like you said, it's a big part of the game. I think our punt team will be fine. Special teams is something that we're going to have to be pretty good at, and we can be dangerous at. That's what we tell our kids too. When we put returners back like Joe, and he catches the ball, every time he catches the ball, there's a chance something good's going to happen, and so we're going to gain a lot of yardage that way. And so we just have to make sure that fundamentally we're pretty sound in those areas.
We are previewing the 2019 season for the Elizabethtown Panthers. I have head coach Mark Brown. I have RJ Hope and also senior Joseph Becker in here, two seniors who are going into what will be their final season in their tenure of their high school career. Talk about the emotions of that, guy. I know it may not be sinking in right now because we haven't started the season, but what is this like, knowing that this is going to be your final season at E-Town, or just at the high school level? I know, RJ, you transferred in from North Heartland. Just talk about your experiences here, kind of just taking it all in as you get ready for this season.
Well, for me, I can say I just got to dog out, and I got to go all out, and I got to give the best of me, and I got to lay all that I got on the line, because at the end of the day, whether I go and play football at the next level or not, You only get one chance to play high school ball, and you'll remember these times for the rest of your life. And I don't want to go out knowing that I didn't give it 100% my senior year, because it's not just about me. It's about the Elizabethtown Panther football program, and that's who we're doing it for. It's not about me, not about Coach, not about Joe. It's about the program, and that's what we're trying to win this for. And I want to be able to say that I gave all that I had. I laid all that I had on the line for the program, and I just that's that.
I'm excited. It's exciting to be able to be a role model for freshman, sophomore kids that, are a little bit nervous. When me and RJ, we have experience playing at the high school level. It's kind of sad, it's our last year or whatever, but hopefully we can make it a good one, make it memorable, and that's the plan that we're trying to accomplish here, because we have so much talent and so many athletes on our team. And I can't wait to see how this journey pans out.
Obviously, the goal is to win a championship. What are we expecting here, Coach, here this season? What are your expectations of the team, and how do you see them going throughout the season?
Well, we always have the same goals. We always take it. We want to be as competitive as possible. We want to win every game on the field. We understand that doesn't always happen, but you got to play as hard as RJ was saying. You got to go out, play as hard as you can possibly play, and then if you don't win, let the chips fall where they may. You can hold your head up and walk off the field knowing you're a winner, okay, no matter what it says on the scoreboard. But if you don't work like that, then that's where, you feel bad about things. So we want our kids to give 100% all the time. That's the first thing we ask for, and we tell them, don't worry about the score. Just go out and give 100%, and then you've done your job. But we always look to win a district. May not, but we always look to. We always look to win a regional championship. May not. And then after that, they've changed the format this year. It's going to be completely different. So after that, everything then is just week to week. You plan week to week, and you go as far as you can go.
Let's end this with you two players going into what will be your final season at E-Town and just at the high school level in general. Just what do you think you need to work on most here in these final weeks of the summer as you prep for week one?
For me, I know that my whole life as a football player, I've always just wanted to attack, go 100%, go full speed. But what I need to work on personally is slowing down a little bit and just reading the play instead of just, trying to attack and hit and be aggressive, because that'll get you far, but it won't get you as far as being fundamentally sound and being able to make the play instead of just blow it up. Because you can hit somebody hard as you want to, but if they don't have the ball, then you're not doing your team any justice. So I just need to work on my speed to the ball and getting to the ball, and our defense as a collective group needs to work on all getting to the ball, because like you said and like Coach said, we're going to go up against some D1 guys. We're going to go up against some guys that are bigger than us, and it's not going to just take one person to bring them down all the time, because that's just like football. If you're naturally stronger than someone, you're not just going to get taken down off of one hit. So we all got to just play as a team, gang tackle, and get the job done.
I think defense is going to be one of the bigger factors this year that we need to improve on. I think if we can play like the defense that we had 2 years ago, then I think we can win every game. That's without a doubt. If we work hard collectively as a group and make sure that all of our focus is the same, and if we're playing hard, then I don't think there's nothing we can't do.
Yeah, I remember that defense from a couple of years ago. You guys forced a lot of turnovers that year. We've had Mark Brown, head coach of the E-Town Panthers, and seniors RJ Hope and Joseph Becker here in the studio. Gentlemen, I thank you for joining me here on Heartland Sports Live.
Sir.
Wish you luck this season, and we look forward to watching you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was my recorded interview with the Elizabethtown Panthers as they made their way into the studio last week to talk about their 2019 football season. We will continue to have more teams from the area. We still have John Hardin to come up. We still have Central Hardin, and LaRue County will get them in here as well over the next few weeks before the high school football campaign begins. I want to say this hour is brought to you by CC Power Sports, where you can get a new jet ski for an incredibly low season opening price. CC Power Sports, they're off exit 121, just south of the Snyder at Brooks Road off I-65. Well, coming up is my interview with Jacob Stover, who's the commissioner of the E-Town Area Youth Football, as well as Vice President of Cheerleaders, Stephanie Grimes. Both of them joined me last week here in the studio to talk about what's going on this fall. It's Heartland Sports Live, and you're listening to 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and ESPNKY.com.
Hi, this is Rod Woodson. You're listening to Heartland Sports Live with Trevor Rice on 106.1 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back into Heartland Sports Live on 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and we live stream on ESPNKY.com. Trevor Rice in with you. I want to thank E-Town High for coming in earlier and talking about their 2019 high school football season. As we get set for that, we will have other area teams in here as well here in the coming weeks. John Hardin, I think, next week, and we'll have Central, and we'll invite LaRue up as well. But right now, we are going to continue with the football discussion. We're going to talk cheerleading this segment as well, as we have Jacob Stover, who is commissioner of the E-Town Area Youth Football, in here with us, and Vice President of Cheerleaders, Stephanie Grimes, in here as well, as we talk to you two now. First time to talk about this. Youth football, always a big step into getting into the middle school process, the high school process for kids who want to play. Cheerleaders, same thing. You can never learn too early. So I want to thank both of you for stopping by.
Thanks for having us, Trevor.
Let's begin with the football side of things, because this thing has been going on for over 60 years. I read, Jacob. Let's talk about where this thing started and how we got to this point now.
So yeah, it has been in the area for this particular league for about 60 years. They used to play their games over, I believe, at the American Legion Field over by E-Town High School is where they started at. And I believe back 20, 30 years ago, it was kind of sponsored and run by the JCs. And then about 15 or 20 years ago, it has transitioned to what it is today, is the Elizabethtown Area Youth Football League. And we are a 501 Charlie nonprofit organization. And that's essentially where we are today, and we play our games at the Elizabethtown Sports Park.
And Stephanie, what about the cheerleading process? How long have we been doing that in this area?
Well, the cheerleading league restarted back in 2012. I know it used to be connected with the football league many years ago. Chris Young, the former commissioner of EAYF, had approached Sherry Gifford, who is the president of EAYC, to start up a cheerleague to go with the football. And Tim Walker, the mayor at the time, helped get everything started. She had also just recently brought on a foster child who wasn't very into other sports. So it started back in 2012, and we started off with 60 girls, and now we're running up between 120 to 140 girls on average each year now.
Oh, wow. And I was just talking about the numbers of kids who participate in this before we got this interview started with Jacob. Let's talk about that, where we're at right now, and you're still taking kids who want to come out and try.
Absolutely. We usually stop taking sign-ups around mid-August, because by then we have our cheer clinic and we're in the Heartland parade, and so we've got to get uniforms ordered and everything so that we can have them ready by the time the first football games start. Everything started a little bit earlier this year, so we're finishing up a little bit early. We do have a sign-up tonight from 6 to 8 at Pritchard Community Center. Okay, and tonight being tonight, or because it's going to be on Monday. No, tonight. I'm sorry, I forgot. Never mind. I can't really post that then, or say that.
I'll just say sometime next week, because we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I know we are going to have more sign-ups. We're planning on adding an additional one. Thursday is our last sign-up officially, but we are planning on at least having a couple more official sign-ups, and those can be found on our Facebook page, and then we'll probably also set up at the EAYF football evaluations as well, so that any last-minute stragglers that want to sign up can do so then as well.
And I was talking to you, Jacob, about this. You're going to have uniforms to pretty much fit any kid who signs up, right?
Yeah, correct. So we take a lot of pride in our equipment, and we take that equipment very seriously. Because obviously, there's been a lot of talk in the press and the media, in the last several years about concussions. So obviously, helmets and shoulder pads, specifically helmets, are very important to us, and we follow the manufacturing procedures or guidelines very closely. And that the helmets are only good for 10 years, and every 2 years they have to be refurbished. So if you look if you follow EAYF football on our Facebook page, you can see we're back in February. We sent 170 of our helmets off to be refurbished. So when those helmets come back, they're certified and good for an additional 2 years. And then we track that very closely so that when they're out of service every 10 years, they're put out of service and we purchase new helmets. So, and if we have a child come in and we don't have the right fit for them, we make it a point. We will go out and purchase a helmet or shoulder pads to fit that child so that they're able to play and enjoy football safely.
What is the sign-up process? Paperwork? Is there a cost to it? Talk about that.
So for EAYF, when you come to a sign-up, you have to bring a birth certificate so we can verify age, because that determines what division the child is assigned to. And then there are some sports park waivers that have to be signed and an application form. For us currently, sign-up is $100 to sign up and play for EAYF, but that's all that's required at sign-ups.
Again, we have Jacob Stover, who's commissioner of the E-Town Area Youth Football in here, also vice president of cheerleaders. I have Stephanie Grimes in here on Heartland Sports Live as well. Let's talk about the different divisions of what you're going through. I don't know if the cheerleading necessarily has different divisions as well, but let's talk about the four main divisions that you have on the football side. Then we'll talk about the cheerleader and how they kind of go together.
Yeah. So we, as EAYF, has four divisions. We have a flag, a minor, a JV, and a varsity division. So the flag division is 4 and 5 year olds. Obviously, flag, but they play similar rules to the minors and varsity. Obviously, just minus the tackle. But we're starting to introduce them to organized football. They do their games right there at the sports park as well. They go through everything, evaluations the same as the tackle players. And then the minor division is 6 and 7 year olds. Junior varsity 8 and 9, and then varsities are 10, 11, 12 year olds. And we have strict rules about, we have weight limits and things for player safety, and that's based on averages for the children that sign up. And there's some specific rules on that as far as what those weight limits are and advancing the football and things like that. But it's all geared towards player safety, and all those rules can be found on our website if anybody's interested.
And how is the cheerleading process compared to the football, Stephanie?
Well, we can't divide by age specifically. We do have a 3 and 4 year old squad that is specifically just for 3 and 4 year olds, due to the fact that what 3 and 4 year olds can do don't necessarily match up, of course, with older girls. They do everything that all the other squads do, but it's just more limited. With everybody else, we sort by request first. Obviously, sisters to brothers on the football team go first. So we wait until football has given us the list of each player so that we can sort their sisters so that they can cheer for their brothers. Then we do friend requests, coach requests, things like that. And then from there on, we try to match up as best as possible to ages so that there are at least several girls that are close in age, so that it's not like a 9-year-old with like some 5 and 6 year olds because their brothers are cheering for that team, or their brothers are playing for that specific football team. It's $125, and that covers everything but white tennis shoes. It's uniform, a full uniform. It comes with a jacket, 2 hair bows, t-shirt. It comes with insurance. It covers cheer clinic and competition cost. And then pretty much whatever they have to pay from there is just white tennis shoes and socks, and they can get those at Academy Sports or anywhere really. With registration, when it comes to signing up, we do have it does take a little bit of time because we have to get their registration information, like general information. We have medical liability forms. We have photo release forms, because there are some kids that are in foster care. They're not allowed to be posted on, like their picture can't be on line websites or anything like that, so Facebook. So we're very particular with that as well. They try on their uniforms there, and they try on a uniform there. Everything they get is brand new. We order everything after we have sign-ups, and then everything is brand new from there.
How many kids do we have signed up now, and how many are you looking to achieve?
So right now for football, we have right around 200 that are signed up, and we like to get about 260 or so. That gives us roughly four teams per division. We are We are partnering with Fort Knox this year. So Fort Knox will have the Fort Knox Rec Department, CYS, will have a varsity team playing in our varsity division this year, which we're really excited about. We had some exploratory games with them last year, so we're excited to be able to incorporate them into the EAYF this year. We'll be playing some games on Fort Knox on September 11th for their Patriots Day ceremony, which will be really great. So that's not included in our total 260 number. But that's roughly what we would like to get. But we can accommodate up to about 350.
What about the cheerleading side of that? Where are you numbers wise now, and where are you looking to get to?
Well, from the last sign up that we had, we're about 70 girls right now. We hope to get somewhere. I mean, like we said before, we normally average between 120 and 140. Just that way, we have enough cheerleaders to accommodate all the football teams, because we try to separate the girls into as many football teams, so each football team has cheerleaders. So we're looking anywhere between 120, 140. We can of course accommodate much more than that, but the size is normally average for each squad about 8 per person or 8 per team.
All right, let's go into the schedule, when everything starts, and I guess let's just talk about what the season looks like from your standpoint and how the scheduling works.
So for football, we will more than likely have our opening ceremony and Hall of Fame game. So we do a EAYF Hall of Fame nominations and induct some members into the Hall of Fame. And we also give Jim Bell Awards for players who've played all the way from age 4 to age 12 in the EAYF. That's tentatively scheduled for August 29th with the transition of the sports park. We're still waiting on it. We're having a meeting with them to determine exactly what dates, lock in all our dates and all that. But we're anticipating August 29th to have opening ceremonies for the EAYF with 2 or 3 games played that night. And then after that, we start into a regular season, and we generally play our games Tuesdays through Thursdays at the sports park. And that'll just depend on the number of teams that we end up having, sports park availability, referee availability. But it's usually pretty locked in from Tuesdays to Thursdays.
How many kids roughly are there per team?
We shoot for no less than 15 per team, but we can accommodate 18 or 19. We don't like to go too much higher than that, because we want to maximize playing time for all the children.
And speaking of playing time, how much time is there in a full game?
So the minors JV will play 8-minute quarters, 4 8-minute quarters, and the varsity, I believe, plays 10-minute quarters. The flag they play an abbreviated 6-minute quarter, 4-quarter game though.
And practices and is there stuff like that going on too?
Absolutely. So we have strict rules. Again, we follow USA football guidelines. So before the season starts, so up to August 29th, coaches are allowed to practice 4 days a week, only 2 hours a night. And that heat index is monitored by the EAYF. So if the heat index exceeds or the weather exceeds, that's when the commission will step in and tell coaches they must cancel practices or move indoors. We have player safety reps and division reps that monitor all that weekly. So like I said, 4 days a week, 2 hours a night. Once the season starts, they can only have 1 game and 2 practices. So we limit the amount of contact that the players are having in accordance with USA football regulations.
Hearing that information, what's the scheduling look like for the cheerleaders as far as practices and stuff like that go?
Well, we do have a cheer clinic at John Hardin High School. The date's still yet to be determined. I'm waiting for confirmation on those dates, but it's usually about the second Saturday in August. It has been in the past several years. And then when girls find out which team they're on, practices usually go about twice a week until football games get started, and then that way it gives them time to learn cheers and everything. We ask that coaches don't exceed 1 game and 1 or 2 practices per week due to how exhausting it can be. We do follow the same heat index as football. If it gets too hot out, we do ask coaches to move indoors or to cancel practices. I know that at this age, they don't need to be outside in this heat that long anyway. With practices, they are determined by the coaches. We give the coaches that freedom to set the schedule. It's usually Monday through Friday, usually around 6 o'clock. That way parents have time to get off work and daycare pickups and everything like that. But like I said, it is up to the coaches. And then we follow football schedule, of course, and they go until about the second week of November. First or second week is when we have our competition, that first or second Saturday. Like I said, I'm still waiting to get confirmation on those dates, but they will be posted on our website as soon as possible, Facebook, as soon as I have that confirmation.
Yeah, speaking of websites and social media, how can people learn more or find out more through your social media pages, website, if you have one?
So we do have a Facebook page where we put out most of our information. It's Elizabethtown Area Youth Football. Same thing. We have a corresponding website. It's Elizabethtown Youth Football, I believe .org. I mean, if you Google it, it's going to come up very simply. But we primarily use Facebook as our tool to put out a lot of information. We do generally ask if parents or guardians are not on the Facebook page, then we have group messages and things like that we can do to also put out information. But the best way is to get on the Facebook page or the football website.
Is that the same for both of them?
Yes, we do a lot of our updating on Facebook first. That's the most up-to-date information. We do have a website, eaycmania.com, but Facebook is where as soon as information comes out, that's what's updated the quickest. After they sign up with us, we invite them to join the Band app, and that allows us to put calendars. We have access to a calendar and stuff there. We put all the football games, who's cheering on which team, everything. When cheer clinic is, competition, and if there's any cancellations, things like that. That way it can all go out as quick as possible.
This sounds like the best way to get your kid involved early so that they do understand what's going on once they get to those middle school years and high school years of what's going on. And it seems like their chances of success to get to that level or sound better if they were to play youth football or be a youth cheerleader at this point. Am I right in saying that?
I would say so, yes. We introduce all the basics that we can. A lot of the girls have gone on to CKA with Julie. They're also a tremendous help. We do a tumbling clinic with them. I forgot to mention that earlier, but yes, that's going to be on the 17th of August this year. So we do have an optional stunt and tumbling clinic with CKA, but they go on to that. They go on to middle school cheer, things like that. It helps get them involved with other kids so their social interactions improve from school and everything. We have anywhere from foster kids to homeschool kids to public school, private school, and it just helps them to get to know other children of the community as well. So,
well, I appreciate you both for stopping by. Again, we've had Jacob Stover, who's commissioner of the E-Town Area Youth Football in here, and vice president of cheerleaders, Stephanie Grimes, here on Heartland Sports Live. I appreciate you two stopping by, and hopefully we can get you some more people to sign up and look forward to the upcoming season. When does it start again?
So we'll tentatively be, our Hall of Fame games will be on 29 August.
29th of August.
Yes, sir.
We'll have cheer clinics start either it's usually about the second week, like I said, once that gets confirmed. But then we also have the Heartland Parade on the 24th of August as well, that girls walk in.
And it will be here before you know it. The summer is flying by. Thank you both so much for stopping by.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Yep, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
We'll have more Heartland Sports Live after this on 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and ESPNKY.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Matheson with the News Enterprise. You're listening to Trevor Rice with Heartland Sports Live on 106.1 ESPN Radio.
It's Heartland Sports Live on 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and we are live streaming on ESPNKY.com. I want to thank Elizabethtown Football for coming in earlier, last week, I should say, and we played our recorded interview in segment 1. Mark Brown and a couple of seniors rolling in here to the studio. And I also want to thank last segment Jacob Stover and Stephanie Grimes for joining me from the E-Town Youth Football and Cheerleading programs. Well, I want to say real quick, I haven't spoken about this, and I'm going to presume I will be interviewing somebody concerning this, hopefully for next week's show. The 50th Annual National Street Rod Association, their car show up in Louisville that happens every year. You know, one of the biggest car shows ever. Well, it's going on. Their 50th annual running, and of course there's going to be thousands of street rods, muscle cars, customs, classics, you know, the cars you're used to seeing when you go up to the car show. There's going to be manufacturers exhibits, arts and crafts exhibits, vintage parts, swap meets, technical seminars, live entertainment, vendors, family fun stuff. So if you're looking for something fun, it's going August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And you can listen to our sister station, 107.3 The Point, throughout the day if you're into classic rock. Also, and listen for your chance to win some family 4-packs over on our sister station. That's the 50th annual running of the National Street Rod Association Car Show up in Louisville, August 1st through the 4th, which, as you know, we'll be here before you know it because this summer is flying by. We're almost here to football season. Can you believe that we're going to be talking Tennessee Titans football? We'll have Mike Keith on here, I'm guessing sometime over the next few weeks to talk about that. Before you know it, college football will arrive. I'll have Randy Lee on. We'll be talking to Ryan Lemon again here shortly because, well, Kentucky Sports Radio, let me remind you, August 12th. It's a Monday. Mark your calendar. If you're a part of Big Blue Nation, you will want to know this because, well, obviously we play Kentucky Sports Radio Monday through Friday, 10 until noon, here on our airwaves, 106.1 FM, 1400 AM, and you can also hear it on ESPNKY.com. Also, they're going to be here in Hardin County, Monday, August 12th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be at Kentucky Jeep and Truck, Kentucky Sports Radio at Kentucky Jeep and Truck here in Hardin County, here in E-Town, and that'll be 10 until noon, their show, and we want to pack the house. So make sure if you're a part of Big Blue Nation, you're a Wildcats fan, you attend that show, because I know if for whatever reason we don't have Kentucky Sports Radio on, if there's a technical error or something, you guys are always ready to call us and say, hey, KSR's not on, you should probably do something about it. So support the show by going out and seeing the guys live. Matt Jones, Ryan Lemon, Shannon the Dude, and Drew Franklin all going to be here in Hardin County come Monday, August 12th. So go out and see the guys as they will be out there and doing their show 10 until noon at Kentucky Jeep and Truck, 10 until noon on August 12th. It's a Monday. I want to get that PSA out there as well. As we're running out of time on today's program, but I want to thank E-Town High School for coming in and previewing their 2019 season. Now, I will have, hopefully, I'm in touch with head coach Chris Inkstrom of the John Hardin Bulldogs. So hopefully we'll have them in the studio for next week's show, and then I hope to get Coach Mattingly and Central Hardin on, and then Coach Jaggers and LaRue County on before the football season finally does arrive. And then you'll hear myself and Bobby Thompson, doing the calls of high school football, which is going to be a fun one. In fact, Bobby didn't have the schedule that I just had to email him again on Friday. And you look at the area teams, I think North Hardin's going to have a strong run. I think Central is going to be much improved now that they're going to have their quarterback back for this year. John Hardin, I'm not sure. We're gonna talk about their upcoming season. A lot of expectations last year. They lose a bunch of seniors. How are they going to look here in 2019? E-Town, I would expect them to once again flourish. I think those kids are always ready to learn, and the next guy up is always ready to be the it factor at E-Town High. And who knows? Fort Knox, we had them in here early. They win 4 games last year. I would like to see that number up, and I think the kids are confident enough that they feel like that they can actually increase that win total here for 2019. And talking to them a few weeks back here on Heartland Sports Live, so it's going to be an exciting time for high school football here in Hardin County. And like I said, I'll be inviting LaRue County up as well, as I'm looking forward to that game, that E-Town and LaRue County game. That is a fun rivalry. If you've never been to that game, and you're just a fan of high school football, I recommend going just because it's entertaining. And last year in the playoffs, what was it, the fourth round? I think it was the third round, 40-32. E-Town had that game in control. LaRue County came back and won it, 40-32. What a spectacular game, and I don't expect this season's regular season game to be any different. It's always a fun one when LaRue County and E-Town meet, and a lot of the area teams are going to be playing each other. E-Town, John, North, Central, I think they're all playing each other this year, so it's going to be a lot of fun for us to call the games during this regular season coming up, which begins, I believe, the 24th already. Man, 23rd and 24th, because we're going to be calling a game on that Friday and that Saturday. I think it's going to be Central Hardin on Friday and then North Hardin on Saturday. I'll have to go back and check the schedule, but I think it's something like that. So be listening out for that. Let's check the National League Central standings real quick. And if you're a Reds fan, you're starting to see this thing get away. It's kind of sad thinking about it, because now they're 9 games back. Where this time last week we were talking about them being, 6 games back? So yeah, if you're doing the math at home, the deficit's there. Cubs right now 54-45, leading the division. Brewers second place, 2 games back, 53-48. The Cardinals are 2.5 games back at 51-47. The Pirates are 7.5 back at 46-52. And there are the Redlegs. I can only imagine the thoughts going through Marty Brenneman's head right now. 44-53. This team had so much promise a couple weeks ago when we were talking to you. Kind of slipping away now at 44-53, 9 games back. But the game must go on, and the Reds, well, they continue to play this week. Let's go ahead and pull up the Cincinnati Reds baseball schedule, as, of course, you can catch every game here on 106.1 ESPN Radio and 1400 AM. Reds baseball schedule looks like this. They start up a series with the Brewers now. That game tonight, 8:10. They'll play tomorrow night, 8:10, as the Reds are on the road, and then they'll play Wednesday in an early afternoon game at 2:10. So that's what is coming up ahead for the Cincinnati Redlegs here on 106.1 ESPN Radio. That'll do it for me, though. Trevor Rice hanging out. And I want to thank you for joining me, and be listening next week as we will try to get John Harden football in here to talk about their 2019 football campaign. I will see you next Monday. Until then, enjoy the sports week and stay cool, my friends. 106.1 ESPN Radio, 1400 AM, and you can catch every stream of Heartland Sports Live on ESPNKY.com. Also go to my Twitter account, @Radio Trevor Rice. I have a link there you can go to go and download any show in case there was an interview you missed and you wanted to listen to it. Very simple. See you next week. It's Heartland Sports Live.